At least on paper, some of these moves are very questionable.
Nah, Amari, it ain't a dream, bruh. This reality. And what's gonna happen, his numbers are gonna go down.
Many of those marquee transactions tend to disappoint. Here are 5 NFL stars who will shine with their new teams in 2022, and 5 who are bound to flop. Shine. Russell Wilson. For whatever reason, the Seattle Seahawks continuously refused to build their offense around Russell Wilson's talents. They never gave the Super Bowl winning QB much input in personnel decisions, and it led to an inevitable trade this offseason. Wilson was sent to the quarterback-needy Denver Broncos in a package deal that netted Seattle a king's ransom of picks plus quarterback Drew Lock, defensive end Shelby Harris, and tight end Noah Fant. As great as Wilson was in Seattle, it's not a stretch to think his best years are still to come. Wilson is joining a Denver team that is loaded with weapons. Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, and Courtland Sutton make up a lethal 3-headed monster at receiver. And that's not all. The Broncos brought back Melvin Gordon to ensure that the dynamic rushing duo of he and Javonte Williams remains in place. The Denver O-line is a work in progress, but it's still better than the horrid unit Wilson had to put up with in Seattle for all those years. New head coach Nathaniel Hackett did wonders with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. He will undoubtedly do the same with Wilson, who will bring some fireworks back to this Broncos offense. Flop. Carson Wentz. Let's be perfectly blunt. If a well-coached Indianapolis Colts franchise with a reigning rushing champion and an elite offensive line couldn't make it work with Carson Wentz, what makes you think he'll flip the switch in Washington? Desperate for a new QB, the Commanders acquired Wentz from the Colts in a package deal that included a swap of second-rounders. Washington paid a hefty price of a 2022 third and a conditional 2023 third-rounder for Wentz's services. Wentz has a good set of weapons in Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and Antonio Gibson, but he also has a leaky offensive line that lost Brandon Scherff in free agency. Ron Rivera is a great defensive-minded coach, but he too is no Frank Reich from an offensive standpoint. However, it's Washington's O-line that has us especially doubting Wentz's ability to bounce back following a roller coaster of a year in Indianapolis. Shine. Davante Adams. In another offseason stunner, the Las Vegas Raiders acquired the league's best wide receiver from the Green Bay Packers in exchange for 2022 first and second round picks. Adams then signed a mammoth 5-year contract extension worth $140 million. Will he lead the league in all the major categories without Aaron Rodgers throwing to him? Probably not, but Adams will still make this a worthwhile move for the Raiders. And don't forget that Adams and Derek Carr were teammates at Fresno State, and new head coach Josh McDaniels can't possibly fail with Carr, Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, and Josh Jacobs running this offense. The Raiders won 10 games and reached the postseason last year without Adams in their offense. The future Hall of Famer is absolutely going to go off in Vegas, and Waller and Renfrow will help take some of the attention off of him. Adams didn't have that type of support from his fellow pass catchers during his final years with the Packers. It's tough to say whether the Raiders are actual contenders because they play in such an unforgiving AFC West division. But this offense could very well be a top 3 or 5 unit in the NFL, as Adams should continue to put up monster numbers, even without Rodgers. Flop. Devante Parker. The Miami Dolphins got one great season out of Devante Parker in his 7 years there. That was in 2019 when he went off for 72 catches, 1,202 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Miami rebuilt their offense by adding receivers Tyreek Hill and Cedric Wilson Jr. and running backs Chase Edmonds, Sony Michel, and Raheem Mostert. Parker became expendable and was flipped to the AFC East rival New England Patriots as a result. The problem for Parker is that New England doesn't place him in a great position to succeed. Mac Jones is loaded with quality pass-catching threats like Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, and now the speedy rookie Tyquan Thornton. If Parker joined a contender with a need for a number 2 wideout like the Green Bay Packers or Baltimore Ravens, we'd love the trade. But Parker's joining a crowded receiving room. Not to mention the Patriots will continue to be a run-heavy offense going forward. Good luck, Devante. You're gonna need it. Shine. Tyrann Mathieu. The versatile safety Mathieu surprisingly went unsigned for over a month before finally coming home to join the New Orleans Saints in 2022. It was surprising to see the Kansas City Chiefs make practically zero effort in retaining the star of their defense. Not that the Saints are complaining. New Orleans already boasted one of the league's top secondaries before adding Mathieu. Marshawn Lattimore, PJ Williams, and CJ Gardner-Johnson make up a dynamic ball-hawking trio. Losing Marcus Williams hurt, But the Saints found a cheap replacement in Marcus May, before bringing Mathieu into the fold as well. Mathieu is going to love it in Dennis Allen's offense. The new Saints head coach will get the most out of the three-time Pro Bowler, who wreaks havoc all over the field. Marcus Davenport and Cameron Jordan round out one of the league's most potent pass-rushing groups, and that type of pressure up front should also open up plenty more opportunities for Mathieu. From a schematic standpoint, Mathieu was the perfect pickup for NOLA. His swagger, energy, and leadership will go hand in hand with a team that has established a fun-loving culture. This will be a home run of a signing for both sides. Write that down. Flop. Brandon Scherff. A healthy Brandon Scherff is among the best guards in the league. The problem is, age and injuries will lead to a decline sooner rather than later. Desperate to get pass protection for Trevor Lawrence, the Jacksonville Jaguars handed Scherff a lucrative 3-year contract worth $49.5 million. That's a pretty big commitment to a guy who hasn't played a full regular season since 2016. Scherff missed 2 games in 2017, 8 in 2018, 5 in 2019, 3 in 2020, and 6 in 2021. So the trend itself is concerning. And it's not like Scherff will be playing with other stars on that leaky Jacksonville offensive line. The Jaguars are banking on Scherff to elevate the play of his fellow linemen, but that is so much easier said than done. He doesn't have much support in the trenches, and again, the injury history and his age are major red flags at this point. As much as we hate to play this card, another fact of life is that the Jaguars' lucrative free agent signings almost always underperform. This organization has been a graveyard for so many players over the years. Are the Jaguars sure that Scherff will reverse that trend? In order to do so, he's got to stay healthy and play like an all-pro to justify that contract. That is no simple feat when you're playing for the NFL's worst team from the past 2 years. Shine. Khalil Mack. The rebuilding Chicago Bears unloaded Khalil Mack's hefty contract to the Los Angeles Chargers in exchange for a 2022 second and a 2023 sixth-round pick. It was a necessary move for the Bears as they begin a painful rebuilding phase. For the Chargers, adding Mack may be the final piece needed to get back into the postseason once and for all. Mack's age and recent injury history are concerns, no doubt, but if he's healthy, expect the 2016 Defensive Player of the Year to regain his Pro Bowl form. He is going to do wonders lining up with fellow superstar Joey Bosa on the defensive line. Don't forget that Chargers head coach Brandon Staley was the Bears' outside linebackers coach during Mack's first year in the Windy City. There was familiarity here, and Staley will surely get the most out of the future Hall of Famer during their reunion in LA. Mack and Bosa will have no problem generating constant pressure together, especially when you consider how deep the Chargers' secondary is with guys like J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel Jr., and Derwin James. Mack hasn't posted a double-digit sack season since 2018, though he had 6 in just 7 games last year. If healthy, he'll be back to pushing for 12-plus sacks in 2022 and beyond. Expect Mack to be a great fit in La La Land. Flop. Randy Gregory. As much as we loved the acquisition of Russell Wilson for the Broncos, we have our concerns over the 5-year, $70 million deal they handed to Randy Gregory. It's a lot of money for a guy who's never topped 6 sacks in a season, as well as a guy who's endured multiple suspensions for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Gregory was suspended for the entire 2017 and 2019 seasons. He only played more than 12 contests in a season once. Gregory was very good for the Cowboys in 2020, but he wasn't elite. Certainly not worth all the money Denver's paying him. He was a very good fit in the defense that also had Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Now the Broncos are asking him to elevate his game to another level and be the leader of their unit. His career production and many suspensions suggest that it's a pipe dream at this point. Add it all up, and I'm not seeing how Gregory lives up to that contract in the Mile High City. Shine. Matt Ryan. It's quite admirable that Matty Ice was able to put up good stats on an extremely flawed Atlanta Falcons team over his final 4 years there. Ryan got the break of a lifetime when the Falcons finally decided to trade him to the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for the low price of a 3rd-round pick. Ryan has always been a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. If this team could win 9 games with Wentz in 2021, well, they can absolutely push for 12 wins with Ryan. Matty Ice will be playing behind arguably the NFL's best offensive line, and with rushing champion Jonathan Taylor, he has never had a pass protection group or a dynamic rusher like this before. And Michael Pittman Jr. and Alec Pierce will do just fine as his new 1-2 pass-catching duo. Ryan was one of the few positives in Atlanta in the post-Super Bowl 51 meltdown years. Now he joins a team with a great coaching staff and a championship roster that is ready to win now. Don't be shocked if Ryan looks a lot like that 2016 MVP version of himself under Frank Reich. Seriously. Flop. Amari Cooper. The Cleveland Browns are in nothing-to-lose territory with Amari Cooper. The Pro Bowl wideout only cost them a 5th-rounder and a swap of 6th-round picks. But we're already doubting Cooper's ability to live up to expectations as the new #1 wideout in Cleveland. He had a down year with the Cowboys, even though they're a pass-heavy offense with Dak Prescott. Now Cooper is joining a rush-first offense with a new quarterback in Deshaun Watson, who's likely going to be suspended for a large portion of the season. The pieces are already not adding up for Cooper to go off here in the land. Even if Watson plays at a Pro Bowl level for the Browns, Cooper is only going to be a secondary piece of that offense. Such is life when your offense largely runs through the elite running back tandem of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Folks thinking Cooper will return to Pro Bowl form in 2022 really shouldn't get their hopes up. This isn't the best fit or the best situation for him. 700 to 800 yards is a more realistic target if we're being honest, with Jacoby Brissett likely to be his starting quarterback for a large chunk of the season. 1,000 yards seems awfully far-fetched at this point. But which other NFL stars will shine with their new teams, and which ones will flop? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.